Welcome, welcome, welcome to Dinner with the Coaches. I am your host, Nadira Lewis, and I'm excited that I have my co host with me tonight and my guest panelists, co host Thomas Taylor, Christian Bryant, and Clinton McCoy. Thank you guys for joining us on this awesome Sunday. So, Thomas, you want to introduce our guest today and to go into our topic?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Well, hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for checking us out, spending some time with us this evening. Tonight, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. We're going to talk about how to make money using IG Reels. Wow. Now, in the event with this whole social media and competition, we know we got Facebook out there. Facebook kind of trying to, compete with TikTok. TikTok is just killing the game right now with these short little videos. Matter of fact, I saw one last week where they had the signal for the little girl who was kind of being kidnapped, and she did a sign based upon what she saw on TikTok, and it actually saved her. She kind of did the signal, and then somebody was looking at TikTok and they realized the hand gesture. They kind of called police and actually saved the young girl. So that kind of took TikTok up to another level. So again, when you deal with competition, we all know that competition makes you sharper, right? So everybody's competing out there for everybody's time, right? Because we understand, you get paid for clicks. We understand that. But right now, it's the viewership and it's how long can you stay on their platform. That's key. So we have some gurus this evening, Mr. Christian, he's out there killing the game, as well as Clinton, he's out there doing his thing. So we're gonna start with you, Christian. Kind of, what's your feedback and what's your take on that? Because I know you out there killing the game on the crypto side. You got clients, you got these guys coming at you because obviously you making some noise out there because some of your videos actually went viral. So go ahead and share some knowledge with the people.
Yeah, I mean, like you were kind of saying, Thomas, like it's a competition between all of the platforms. You got YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Pretty much, with Instagram they have IG Reels where it's like an invite only thing amongst like a certain amount of creators. You got to have a threshold, but like once you're over that threshold, you get invited into the algorithm pretty much where you're able to get paid for. You're monetized pretty much. It's not just IG Reels. Is you have IGTV. A lot of those things they have badges, which is also in competition with TikTok as well. That allows you to get paid for the content that you make, pretty much. So,
Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. That's just a little introduction. How about yourself, Clinton?
Uh, well, I'm not. I use Reels. That's my son over there.
Hey.
Um, uh, Instead of my link tree, I use my website. But I look at it is it really doesn't matter what part of the platform that you use if you don't have a strategy that aligns to certain business results or money making results, you're not going to really be able to uh, get your bang for the buck. No matter if you get 24,000 views, 10,000 views, whatever. So for me, I look at these things as how do they fit into the bigger strategy for helping your business make money. Now, from a marketing perspective, things like Reels, TikToks, those short videos, they are great to get people's attention because that's the name of the game in marketing. You can't sell something if you don't have the person's attention. So they're great attention getters. And you do have some people out there that's been able to really make a lot of money off of the platforms using those. But what they don't probably tell you about is all the work that they have to put in and then the back end systems you need to really make those tools fruitful. So that's kind of how I am as a coach. You know, I love to be able to tell people the flowery, all you have to do is one or two things and your business is going to make a lot of money. But it's just not true. But if I circle it back around, Reels is something that you want to have inside your repertoire. So it's kind of like You know, you want to get their attention with the short videos, hold it, move them to potentially longer style videos, you know, while you're delivering value, and then hopefully getting them onto your own platform. So, yeah, Reels
Okay.
is a good thing, because, you know, when platforms are competing and they're just coming out with new things, they're going to make sure that you get freer maximum exposure.
Okay. Okay. How about yourself, Miss Nadira? Because I know you're doing a lot of things out there. You got the sisterhood check-in. You got the wellness Tuesdays. Like you're doing some things out there in those internet streets. So kind of share your experience with the people.
No?
Well, I think your ability to adjust
No.
and adapt to new trends is important in terms of grasping, because just like we trade crypto and forex, you got to be able to trade attention. And I think
Mm.
what happens is we have to I think you need the best of both worlds. I think you need to be able to have an in game, but I think you also need to be able to follow with the trends, because trends is the way, it's the way of going after the attention of your audience. So when people, I heard Bob Proctor say this one time, and he said that he realized that most people want a couple of things. He found out that people don't really desire to be rich. They just don't want to have to worry about money. And they like being around people who have energy. And I think I had one person tell me one time on my video, he was like, I don't know what you're selling, but I got my credit card ready. I don't know what you're selling. I was like, well, fortunately, I don't have anything for males that I can sell. But he was like, I don't know what you're selling, but he showed me I got my credit card ready. Like whatever you selling, I'm buying. So I think the most important thing to realize, especially in the pandemic, people are already down. And as coaches,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be in a position to offer our transformation in a way that's going to grasp their attention and let them know that not only do I have the answers for you, but I have the ability to bring you out of whatever it is that you're dealing with. Because most people do business with you because they know, like, and trust you, right?
Yeah. Amen.
So you have to get out there and show them who you are, right? And I'm not saying fake it and fake if that's not who you are. That may not be your style, but you can take whatever style that you have and apply it to Reels. Like Christian and I had a conversation about this the other day, and I was like, wow, I was on Instagram Reels, and this guy, he didn't even have a whole lot of energy. He was just talking, and people were just like, and he said, I've only been on this like a month. And he's just talking. I'm listening to him. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This guy is like making, and you can see the gifts. I said, well, shoot, if they giving out gifts, let me get up here and get some of these gifts. Y'all giving out gifts. Let me get on Instagram and talk and give you some real solutions and be able to get. So that's when it really hit me when Christian and I were talking. And Facebook had actually sent me something in my email, and they said, you're able to be monetized doing, but I kind of push it to the side because I'm embarrassed to tell you how many emails I have in my inbox. But I talked to Christian, and he said, well, Mom, you better go back and you need to look at that, because they offer me $35,000 just to up to $35,000 just to talk. I'm like, heck, let me get up here and start talking. I'm over here talking for free. What?
Yeah, for real.
I think you definitely have to have the ability to go with the trends while you have your system in place. I think it only is bad when you don't have anything in the back end. If you're just talking and fluffing people up. But I think if you're solid in the back end with what you offer, and you're able to get out there and jump into the trends and gather people, and give people that energy and give them, what they're looking for, because that's where you have to go where the people are. The people are where the trends are. So I think when you go where the people are, you may not be able to get everybody, but you might be able to find, some ideal customers that may say, hey, I like your energy. I like what you're doing. Like that guy, let me get my credit card. I'm buying whatever it is that you got, because people want not only transformation, they want energy. They want to feel like, when I'm talking to you, that whatever it is that you offer is going to change my life and my business. And the only way we can do that is with results, with evidence-based results, and with energy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna piggyback off of what you guys said, and the question is going to be towards Christian though. So between the energy, and then Clinton said something that was interesting in terms of you got to have systems to understand your business aspect of it. So the question is for you, Christian. Do you experience or have you experienced any event that because for a video to go viral, it happens fast, right? Somebody could just put something out there and it happens fast. But in your experience, are those people ready for business, or is it just the viral aspect of it?
Mhm.
What's
So,
your experience?
so I kind of think of it like this: like when it comes to, it depends on like what Clinton was saying. Pretty much, like you got to have a solid, system in place to know like what your longevity is going to be. Because if you're already putting out content that's more geared towards what you're trying to build off of, then those viral views can turn into those customers. But if it's just,
Mm-hmm.
you're putting content out just to put it out and there's no real concept behind it, it's just going to be views pretty much. It's not going to really convert over how you want it. So I feel like it really just depends on like what your whole ultimate goal is going to be pretty much from the time that you're actually making the videos. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying like the strategy, kind of what Clinton was talking about, should
Mhm.
come first?
I think so, yes. And the reason why I say that, because I remember talking with there's somebody I was talking with like a couple of days about it. Like the thing is like the transition behind it, that
Mm-hmm.
longevity, like you were saying, Clinton. Like when you build up a certain amount, like when you build the attention pretty much. When you get the attention that you want, let's say you're not even looking to go into business, because this happens a lot. Specifically with Instagram, you have a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of followers, a lot of views. They're getting that attention, but they don't know how to make that transition
Mm-hmm.
business, or whether it's just getting
Yeah.
customers or just anything. So I think yes, you would need the strategy first. So that way when you get that attention, you're already making that transition pretty easily.
And don't forget to add too that in
Yeah.
it's not that there's several ways to get paid using these rules. You
Right.
can from a client base, but then Instagram, or Facebook, since they own Instagram, is paying you for
Yeah.
doing. Talk about that. Talk about that about what.
Mhm. So now, like you were saying too, everybody's fighting for attention with these platforms. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like one of these things to where, and I always use YouTube like as like a base format, because with YouTube, like okay, for example, in the trading world, when it like the trading world is completely changed when it comes to like courses. Pretty much everybody sells a course, everybody's an expert at it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But one thing that I realized is a lot of the attention is transforming, because you have YouTube where you can put those videos out and you may not have those clients, like especially if you're new coming to you, but you have the YouTube check on the back end. You're still putting it out, but that platform is still paying you. So like in this case here, it's kind of like because the attention everybody's fighting for, you're gonna have these platforms that's paying you, such as Instagram. You got Facebook to where you're constantly creating the same content, creating the same value, but the platform is gonna pay you instead of the actual people. So I think it can work in both avenues when it comes to that.
Yeah, and that's interesting because that part of it right there, it kind of takes away from the business aspect and strategy aspect, right?
Right.
Because if you're actually just giving content, which is fine because it could be in an area that you have some expertise in, right? But don't really have a business strategy, you kind of still can win, right? Because you're really kind of still getting a check, right? The transition that you talked about puts them in a different position where now they actually can have a business structure that also pays them and where they can scale,
Right. Right.
and that's a part that I think that to me, I call it a gap filler, right? Because if we go back to what Clinton talked about a little bit, I think if you start to coach people on having a business, having a strategy, and understanding what the potential is, now they have more longevity in the game, right? Because a lot of to me, it's almost like when we was growing up, we call it our one hit wonders, right?
Yeah.
Somebody would make a song and they just make one song and then that's it. Like, this is how we do it. That was enough, man. He was good. One main song and he was done, right? But in terms of the differences, actually having a business structure behind that and then having some longevity. You know what I mean? Like, can you talk to that aspect of it?
Yeah. Yeah. So like even like when it comes to longevity, like I don't know. I kind of just think of it like you got to have that structure in place, because everybody starts from ground zero. Whether
Yeah.
it's on any platform, everybody has zero followers. by the time you build up that aspect, you're gonna learn a lot of different things in amongst that journey that you're building. Even building a business from ground to the top. So I feel like that structure still does need to be in place, because if you do have a video that's like one hit wonder, you know what I mean, it goes viral, then it's like, well, that video has the attention, but how do you build off of that? How do you get more of that attention if they were just there for that one video and you don't have value on the rest of your page that makes them continue to stay on the page?
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and as my man Montel Jordan, shout out to Montel Jordan there. So for the monetary part of it, is there a threshold of viewership of followers that you kind of need to have? Is there a minimum number?
So with Instagram, it's kind of like up in the air, because you have to have at least 10,000 not 10,000 at least 10,000 followers on Instagram to like hit a lot of these thresholds. With Reels, I've heard some people that don't have 10,000 followers, but they still are in the program. There's a lot of people that do have 10,000 and over, and they're in the program, but not everybody has it either as well. So it's not like really like a threshold as far as who can get in and what you need. It's really kind of like just floating in the air right now. So,
wow. I hope our listening audience is paying attention to the words that Christian is saying. He said program about 2 or 3 times, right? Now listen to what he's saying. He said program. So for those of you who are not familiar, that's another language, because obviously you have to have a certain amount of followers to even be invited. That's a whole nother level, right? He said program. Now I'm sure inside that program there's levels inside that program. Wow. Clinton, how about your experience?
Well, when it comes to like things like on Instagram, I think that your followers do matter. The thing about it is, a lot of times people jumping into these platforms that don't really have a decent amount of followers. When I say this is not even decent for Instagram things, 10,000. Or if you're just starting your Instagram over, just thinking that, what, I'm just going to do reels and go viral and make money off it, it's definitely going to be difficult. But just like any strategy, I mean, any greatness is going to be difficult. And what Nadira was saying earlier about going with the trends, it is a trend that you want to at least dip your hat in, because you never know. You could be one of those ones, the stories when you always hear people say, man, I know this one person who only had 1,000 followers and they made a lot of money. Or I know this one person who is not funny, who does not play on emotions, who do not understand the psychology of how to make a video go viral, because there is a psychology behind it. You're always going to hear those. And that's what people are going to say, well, I can do it too. It's just probably, it's not likely. Now on the paid partners, now Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, like YouTube has shorts. That's a version of Reels. Facebook also has their version of Reels. Of course, Facebook is Instagram, who has it. But at the end of the day, I always say there's 2 paths to success. You got the long path and you got the short path. Ironically enough, the short path, the one with all the tricks, tips, hacks, and shortcuts, is the one that doesn't work. You really want to try to have a process. And for me, it's not just about getting started. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. But if you start taking those first steps in the wrong direction, that 1,000 miles is just going to take you that much longer. So in the beginning, if you can, you should always have a strategy. I hear a lot of people say just start, or yeah, that's fine, but just start with a strategy. And if you come into these social media platforms with a strategy, you're over time, with consistency and the right formula, you're going to do well. But for me, I post some reels but I don't get enough what I think is bang for the buck. Like I might even post something and it might tell me that oh I had 18,000 views, but it didn't translate into more followers. It didn't. It didn't get more friends, didn't get more clicks. So as a marketer, I'm always skeptical of what you see on when social media tells you got this many views or you got this much reach, and it didn't transfer into anything tangible. This is why I always like to say is when you're doing these things, have a call to action. Uh, if you put up a post and it gets 5 emails, someone else puts up a post and it gets 10,000 views but no emails, you won. Because these are people that you can contact, on your own will. So my part in this real part is I'm always just going to try to tell people have a strategy. Um, most people that are posting on social media is doing it for status. They're not really doing business off of it. Us in the business world, we think like everybody, it seems like everyone's doing it. Like for us that have books, authors, it seems like everybody's an author. Everybody got a book. But statistically speaking, only like 0.01% of people have a book. More people have doctor's degrees. So on these platforms, I don't go for the viral option. I go for the getting the attention by knowing who my customer is, delivering them the value that they're looking for, and getting them to know, like, and trust me enough to buy something. So
Okay.
I don't really even do the viral strategies. That's I don't want to
No,
say a
but
waste of time because there are strategies that work for people. They have worked, but you should rather have a sound social media strategy that incorporates reels, uh, 1 minute to 2 minute content. And to be honest with you, a lot of people looking at the reels, but the 10-minute content and longer, who they try to tell us that nobody watches anything that long, which is not true. People watch like Marvel movies for 3 hours. People watch the Kevin Hart show that just was on 9 episodes for however long that was. It's just the wrong people. When you really want to sell, in my opinion, you want to have your short stuff, your medium range stuff, and your longer range content is part of your formula to try to make money as an
okay.
digital entrepreneur.
All right. Now you said some interesting things. So, Nadira, and when we come back from break, we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into. I wrote down a couple of things, and I think Christian may have some of those answers. And I wrote down views versus followers. That's important. And then business versus status. Right. So when we come back from break, I think Christian may have some answers to that because he has done that. Right. He's done both. He transitioned some views to followers, and he has a business strategy versus status. Mr.
Mm.
Dara, would you like
I
to
think,
take us in?
yeah.
Then we're gonna go for a little break.
Yeah, I just want to also add to the importance of not putting doing the adding or incorporating trending ideas should not be 100% of your business strategy. But
Mm-hmm.
Coca-Cola, people like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, has shown us that when we are able to follow or some of the trends or add some of these trending things to our business strategies, that it keeps us in the game a little bit longer. Look at Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's been around for how many years? And the only thing, and there's not a whole lot that's changed about Coca-Cola, but their ability to evolve and to connect with a lot of the to get involved with a lot of the trends. Like now they're doing all kinds of stuff. So I don't think you should have I don't think trending things like reels should be 100% of your business strategy, but I do think that in your reels, or I don't think the mindset should necessarily should go I want to go viral just for the sake of viral. You want to make sure you're doing certain types of videos, how to. So if you're a coach or a business, if you're a business owner and you offer different strategies or you offer transformation in different areas, your reels should offer how to do this or how to do that, how to, if you're a visionary coach, how to see yourself, win in 2020, but use the trend as a way to get people to see, because you're buying their attention. You're not changing your strategy per se. You're just buying their attention. You're evolving into a different way for them to see. Like I can show you this cup, right? Now, there's different strategies. I can show you this cup. I can put it up to you and say, look here, look at this cup. This cup does this. If you pour water in it, this is what it's able to do. But if I come up and I be like, if you're drinking this cup, and I start adding stuff, I might get you to see the cup, the same cup, a lot differently than me just saying, look at the cup. Look at the cup. So I'm not saying 100% of your business should be, dance with the cup, but you should be flexible in offering your strategies, offering different ways to incorporate your strategies so that people can see you in a different arena. So that's what I would have to say about that. And I know you guys have a lot more to add to that, but we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we are going to finish this. This is an amazing topic. I am super excited because this is a win-win. How could you not win with this? This
stuff exciting.
It's like crypto. You're learning this. Have you guys noticed that in this time, we are learning more? It seemed like at a faster pace in business and just overall. Back then, it used to be kind of boring to know business. It was now there's so many ways to learn and to learn business that, oh my God, it's almost like if you're not in business, you ain't really doing nothing.
And to your point, before we go to break, that Coca-Cola point is very important. I don't want people to miss it. Coca-Cola made Tyrese famous because he got on the bus and he did a short reel and he just sung a few bars. That commercial made him famous. So it does work. It was just called something else. Then that was just a short reel.
That's absolutely true.
Y'all remember that commercial?
Yeah, so there's different aspects about it. Based on
but that was a short reel with a $1 billion company that's able to do mass marketing strategies behind it. So that's a
trend.
No, mass marketing. No, they were mass marketing. And then back in them days, you only had so many media outlets. So they were able to pay for big spots to make sure that one post that played repeatedly in the right spots. I'm not saying don't go with the trends. That would be foolish to say don't go with the trends. But the trend should be a part of a bigger strategy, because what's trending today, if you invest 1,000% in it and tomorrow it's not, where's the rest of if you have $1 million strategy? Now, if you just have a $500 strategy, won't he do it?
And we talking about balance
strategy. Yes,
we talking about balance. We talking about balance here, right? That's kind of what we're showing people is like don't just put all your eggs in one basket, right? There's various ways. There's various ways to do this. But hey, we're gonna come back and go a little deeper, Ms. Nadira.
We'll be back after this.
I want you to remember that God's created everything you see. He breathed it into existence. Remember when his people were caught up in slavery? He rescued them. What he did was he parted the sea and he made a way for them, and then he delivered their enemies to them, and he unlocks wombs, and he provides water from a rock, and he provides manna from heaven, and he brought down the walls of Jericho. He froze the sun, allowing victory. He's toppled giants with tiny stones. He's brought fire from heaven. He's shut the mouths of lions. He preserved life in the belly of a well. He's fed thousands with a few loaves. He gives the weak strength. He heals the sick. He's made the blind see, the deaf hear, the mute speak, the lame walk, and he's overcome evil, and he's made a way through death for you and me by the death and the resurrection of his son, Jesus Christ, that we will live with him forever. We will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever and ever and ever. What are we afraid of? His resume is flawless. He controls everything. And he loves you.
I've done some terrible things in my life,
Some of them I chose to do.
and I own these choices.
But others, I just feel like I was swept up in a series.
It's been a series of circumstances that didn't involve my will.
They just sort of happened to me.
I've become the culmination of those choices and circumstances.
So I guess I just need to say it.
I really,
Really.
Really need some help.
Hello, I'm Tracy Harris, and I help women in positions of leadership go from stalling to balling, taking back control of who they are so that they can create the lifestyle they desire. For more information, go to www.tracylharris.com.
Hi, I'm Sherman Q. Harrison, herbal naturopath. I help release individuals from a state of toxicity into natural wellness so they are able to go from feeling to healing. Book a call with me today at www.healbynature.org. Zach.
Hello, my name is Thomas Taylor III. I'm a visionary coach. I help business leaders align their dreams with their destiny so they can build a lasting legacy. So if that's you, you can reach out to me via Instagram at Thomas Taylor III, or you can follow me on YouTube at Thomas Taylor III, that's Taylor Your Dreams. That's Thomas Taylor III, that's Taylor Your Dreams. Until then, go out there and make it a great day.
I'm Craven, and I am confidence coach. I empower female entrepreneurs find fulfillment by awakening their confidence. Find me at I am Kayla Craven on Instagram. Let's unleash your confidence.
I'm Nadira Lewis, author, life, and business coach, and founder of the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs Wisdom Academy. I help women take their life experiences and turn them into life lessons. I also believe that just like hurt people, transform people can transform people too. Make sure you book a call with me at www.womanofproverbscoaching.com, and I'll see you on the other side of victory. And we are back with Dinner with the Coaches with my awesome guest tonight. Let me tell y'all, I'm so excited. I'm like behind the mic, like I'm like this, like yes. Like there's something about when we get together and talk about from different, and I love that each of us have different perspectives to bring in terms of how we see business. I think that's what makes Dinner with the Coaches unique, is that we come together and we are able to discuss. People get to see our discussions about how we market, how we transform and change the lives and the acts of our business.
Yep. Awesome. Oh, that was a great segment. So for this last segment, we're going to get one level deeper. So I'm just going to kind of summarize what we talked about so far. So based upon the business strategy, Clinton's big on strategy, the views and the followers, we talked about that, right? And this is going to be directed toward Christian, right? And then we're going to summarize with the last thing that Nadira talked about was a how to, right? So Christian, based upon your experience, because obviously you're there, right? And you talked about the programs that IG has based upon your experience. Let's talk about how do you create the proven strategies that works in order to be invited into those programs? Christian?
Yes. So I'll put it like this. So, I mean, you do have to have a lot of things that you do on the back end. You know, you got to constantly, share your posts. You know, if you're not
Okay.
like running ads, this is just organically, but even,
Mm-hmm.
again, it can be a lot of work. You know, you got to share your videos. You got to constantly have a video that that's going to work, brings the quality that's going to get people's attention. So it's not just necessarily creating a video, holding up the phone and just say, hey, I want to go viral, or
Okay.
just necessarily saying, hey, this is a video I know that's going to get people's attention. There's a lot of things that you have to do other than just making the video, sharing it, commenting, engaging, because Instagram and really just any of the platforms, it's an engaging, platform in general. They want you to engage. Like what we're doing now, like we're on live for, people that are watching the live, for them to engage. So it's things like that. Even when it comes to like the views, I wanted to kind of mention this when it comes to the views and the followers, as far as like the business strategy. I'm not going to say like it matters, but it does, because you got to think about it like this. For the most part, like Coca-Cola, what you guys were talking about, that nobody would buy Coca-Cola if it wasn't for that mass marketing. And nowadays, everything is mass market through Instagram, through Facebook, even movies. Movies have pulled a lot of money to go into these social media platform avenues to necessarily get our attention, to pretty much say, hey, this is the movie that's out. And it's up to us to say, okay, whether or not we're going to buy that ticket. But a lot of that comes from the views. The more views, the more attention, the more likely we're able to click on that video. So I feel like it does matter and it doesn't matter. It just depends on what your outlet is. But yeah.
Okay. No, you said a few good things. You said organic, right? And then you said ads, right? So do you think there should be, the people that's listening, should they have a particular budget, which kind of goes into Clinton's, aspect of the strategy? Like, can you talk about that? Like, should there be a budget just when you're first starting out, right?
I think there should be, but I mean, there's not like anything as far as like, I don't like, there's no specific budget, because I mean, nowadays with video, I mean, even if you're running like a video ad, they're super cheap to run. You put $5, and depending on like, what video it is or what platform you're on, that $5 may go a long way, and like where you're getting, 5,000 views, 10,000 views. But again, that draws the attention to a lot of people that's on the platform. It's because it's more than the normal average of like 400 views, 200 views, 100 views, or 80 views. Anything past that 1,000, you're automatically catching somebody's attention.
Wow. So I see Miss Nadira, which is your mom's, has your Instagram up, and I see you got 15,000 followers. So can you share with the people how you was able to mass that amount of followers, and how much time did that take you?
Honestly, so it took me, I was actually at 5,000, I think it was 5,000 earlier this year.
Okay.
Followers. So to pretty much get that, I did run a lot of ads. I mean, I had to do a lot of organic traffic too as well, commenting, sharing, inboxing people, but a lot of it came from ads. There's actually, I think the video is still on. There's a video that I ran of like a skit that I did pretty much. And that one ended up getting like 17,000 views just from like an ad, but I didn't have like a lot of money behind it. That was just, again, testing strategies and different things. And then a lot of it also came from Facebook as well. Facebook, I hit over 500,000, and TikTok,
wow,
I hit over 500,000 on that one too. There's one video that's 500,000, and there's another one that's at like 30,000.
And this was talking about trading, forex, things of that nature.
No, so this is just a different avenue. This is like acting, film, just creating videos just in general. So, but even with the trading videos, I have some videos that hit in a few thousand, again, just from that as well. So, but ads pretty much is really the main thing, because that brings more people.
Brings more attention.
Yeah, it brings more attention.
And let me just say something. It's not that it just brings more attention. That's the way social media platforms are set up, especially after they get that initial burst of bringing in something trendy. They bring in these trendy things, and they'll open up the organic pathways to try to get more people's attention on their platform. But when you really want to actually keep leveling up after 6 months or a year or so, you're going to have to follow the strategies that aligns with it on these social medias. You're going to have to pay. Either you're going to pay money, or you're going to pay a lot of your time. You're going to pay a lot of your learning, and a lot of your effort first of all, you're probably going to pay and do all those things anyways when you're trying to grow. Now, you could say 4 years ago, you could have easily did the follow, unfollow, did certain things and grow your Instagram numbers. It's difficult now to get Instagram followers, even when you're putting out high level content. YouTube, all these platforms. So one of the things I know that you were saying, Mr. Thomas, is that I'm big on strategy. I'm not big on strategy. I'm big on results. I'm big on consistent, repeatable results, kind of almost like the scientific method. If I have these set of variables, and I do these set of actions, that I will consistently get this type of results. That's very difficult to have without a strategy. So I'm not big on strategy. I'm big on results. And the way that I business and I help my clients is I'm results orientated. And at the end of the day, you can do these things, but if you have a strategy that allows you to build an audience building strategy, you will find that a whole lot of these things work. If you got, it doesn't even take 10,000 people. If you got 1,000 of the right people that's willing to pay you $1,000 a year, that's $1 million. You know, if you can get 10,000 people, if you can get 20,000 people, if you can get 30,000 people. So when we're talking about reels and using these platforms, yeah, do reels, but go over them with the strategy is, hey, I'm going to use this to build my audience. Because if I build my audience, you build an audience of the right people, they'll buy stuff from you that they don't even use.
Yeah. So do you do ads, Clinton?
I've done ads for clients. I have done ads. Retargeting ads. But for about the last 4 months, I haven't, because I've actually taken a few steps back in my own business to rebuild some of my infrastructure, separating some things. So right now, like, I just finished the website that I have just revised that, but I separated my marketing and media agency content from my photography and videography content. So that's bringing out a different website with the back end connections to the website. And then my Black Men's Health website should be up this week with its back end connection, so that when I'm doing my social media, it's to a point to get people's attention, so I can drive them to a space that's mine, so that I can convert them. Then I will run ads, but I advise to run ads, but it's very difficult for people to run ads if they don't know their market. You're not going to just run a boost, do the little Instagram boost thing for a 10 or 15 thing, and it tell you, oh, you got this many views, but it didn't get any clicks, it didn't convert. So yeah, I do run ads. I've run ads for clients. I recommend ads, but you got to have the right systems in place to make ads profitable. And it also comes with your ad budget. You're not going to run an ad and says, I'm going to run this ad for people to buy my $97 course and think you're going to have a high conversion rate. So you got to have the lead magnet. You got to have the upsell. You got to have the quick nurturing campaigns that moves them to a consultation or an offer or something like that. So all of that's a part of a strategy. But to simply, if I could say, will I run ads? Do I? Yes. If you really want to grow, yeah, you're going to probably have to run ads, definitely on Instagram. That's the only place I think you should really run ads. Well, no, Facebook. But they should be more retargeting. But that might be a different conversation.
Yeah. So it's interesting here. I see Nadira kind of fidgeting. You could go in a minute, Nadira. but I see she fidgeting. But you know what's interesting? What's interesting here? If we play the tape back, you see why
he's a visionary coach, right? He sees stuff.
Oh yeah, right? It's real interesting. Clinton said strategy 5 times.
Yes.
If we run the tape back, he said strategy 5 times, right? Yes. So I'm going to change it. And if you look at the dynamics, Clinton is he's very strategic at what he does, right? And it's a contrast between him and Christian because they're in a different age bracket. They're saying the exact same thing differently.
Yeah.
Because of Clinton's maturity and his experience, he's very strategic. So strategic that he separated things on his website so there'll be no confusion.
Clarity.
Right? Clarity. Christian, on the other hand, when you went to his Instagram, he had it all there. I said, Christian, did you do that with Forex? He said, oh, no, that was acting. And I was dancing, I was doing this. I'm like, my man getting all the views, and it wasn't even Forex. He was acting.
No, but that's the thing. Like Clinton said, you got to strategically separate things. So I have a whole separate page for that and a whole separate page for this, like Clinton said, because you have to have the clarity. There's no point in having everything on one.
But the difference is you just go. You just put it out there. You do that clarity stuff later, Christian. You do that clarity stuff later. Clinton is not moving into a strategic. He's not moving. And then when he steps back and when he reevaluates, he says, "Ooh, okay, I need to move this here. I didn't move this there because I'm results orientated. And if I want this particular result, I have to move this right here to get where I'm going."
Yeah, but Christian is also made a lot of smarter choices than me, younger.
Clinton is a chess player.
He got room for play.
Clinton is a chess player. He's a high D. Clinton is a high D.
You know, he got the whole field ahead of him.
but it's beautiful. It's beautiful for our listening audience, though, right? Because you really can look at the contrast here that's going on.
Yeah.
And if you step back, I see it because I'm a visionary, but I can see it and I can hear it, and it's real good because it gives everybody that's listening both avenues, right? It's a contrast, and it gives you both spectrums. Ms. Nadira, go ahead. I see you itching in there like double dutch, boy. You waiting to get in.
Clinton is a chess player. He's a high D. Clinton is a chess player, so he's very strategic, and you need both. You need a strategy, even in planning to go viral. Even in planning, you need a strategy. So that is important to know, to have strategy, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to take those viral videos or that attention that you've paid for and do something with it.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to have, and I tell this even to my clients all the time, show up. If you don't show up, you can't know, like, and trust you. If you're not present in your business, if you are just behind the scenes all the time and you're never putting especially in this day and time, video is, and as we talked about before, video is, people are more visual, and visual media is is the trend nowadays. And so you have to make sure that as you're adjusting to these trends, that you do have a system in place to funnel them to, because what good is it to get you all to look at me and listen to me if you don't do what I say? I can tell you, oh, look at me, look, woo, 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 I can do this. But if I'm just talking to you and I'm not giving you transformation or strategy, I'm really wasting my time and money. So and as far as my position on advertising, it's crucial. It's crucial because what happens is, I believe this: once you start doing a lot of advertising and targeting, retargeting in the beginning, you start to learn certain things in the advertising. You start to figure out, one, who your audience is, who's watching you, who's listening to you, who's paying attention to your content. And then you can do a lot more organic things based on what your results is, based on what you've seen as far as the analytics from the information that you're running these ads to. So I think I go back to my original point. You have to be able to have a strategy, and in that strategy, you have to still be able to adjust, because there are a lot of businesses that in COVID that weren't able to transition, and they went under. So it doesn't mean that your whole business has to be formed on reels, but you need to be able to pay attention to the trends that are taking place and add them to what you're doing, not replace, but add them, because if not, some businesses will get lost in the curve, because you got the people who are used to just writing and they don't like using computers, and then they get lost when everything is computer generated because they weren't able to adjust to the trends. It didn't mean they had to change their business, but you need to incorporate and be open to change is what I mean.
Yep. That makes sense. So for the last 5 or 6 minutes, what I want to talk about is, because you said something that's very interesting, Nadira. You said show up, right? So what I want to talk about, start off with Christian, is like, what are some of the pitfalls with consistency? Because consistency, and I always say consistency help breeds respect, right? So when you're consistent, you start to get respect in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are some of the pitfalls, Christian, that you may have experienced, or other people experienced, that they just kind of slowed down, or they stopped and it just wasn't consistent enough to get that momentum?
Mm-hmm. I'll kind of use myself as an example. Like, I have 2 pages, the acting, and I have my trading page.
Gotcha.
I remember this was actually probably like a year or 2 ago, on both of these pages here. One of the page I had consistency on, and in the page that you guys seen just now, there was not really much consistency on that page.
Okay.
It'd be like every week or so, maybe one video a week, versus on the other page I was posting, constantly every single day. And what I ran into was, like you were saying, you build a certain audience, they get familiar with your face just because they're constantly seeing you. It's kind of like running ads. You constantly see a person or a brand in front of you, just in front of your face every single day, and you're showing up. They're going to want to buy it from you just because, so on the other end, it's like, if you're not constantly showing up, you're not constantly having that consistency, it's not going to work out. And for me, some of the issues that I ran into was because I didn't have some of those consistencies on one of my pages, there was less likely engagement. There was less people that was likely to buy from that page, from whatever I put out, just because they're not connected on that side, so that's,
were you able to transition those two? Because you're the same individual, like you're that brand. Right. Were you able to merge those two?
So that's a good question, because that's actually where I'm at right now.
I
was telling my mom, and this is something that I've realized before as well. I take Will Smith. Will Smith is like the perfect example. Will Smith was a rapper in his early ages. Then he transitioned to acting. Now with him being an actor, if we're taking him just as a person, he's the same person, but now he has deals, brands, so he can go on to Coca-Cola and they'll buy a Coca-Cola just because Will Smith is there. Will Smith can come out with a clothing line, they'll buy stuff just because he's a clothing line, but he's still the same person. It may not be his brand, but they're going to buy it just because. And that's kind of like where I'm at now. And that's kind of really coming into like the branding aspect, to where it's like, if you brand correctly, a brand can be so big that it really doesn't matter what the brand is, what transitions they make, what business they create. It's still going to be the same, if not more audience, more customers, or the same customers, depending on how you brand. If you brand correctly.
Yeah, because he has water too. Will Smith, they have water.
Right.
They have water.
Yeah, I think the thing that should be emphasized along with strategy is your ability to show up, because it's a part of your brand. If your business, and this is kind of a, if you want to brand who you are, you can't brand who you are behind the scenes or behind the closet with the door closed. You have to constantly show up. If you are your brand, you have to show up. You can't expect and it's like with Christian's perspective as far as with Will Smith. Everybody knows Will Smith no matter where he goes, because he's branded himself in so many different aspects. If we had to look at IG Reels or Facebook Reels, it should be a source. Even if you don't make money in terms of getting clients right away, you should use it as a way to brand who you are. You should use it as an opportunity to show your face, so that people can say, wherever you go, I recognize that face. I recognize what they do. I recognize, because their brand, every time I show up, and I see them, I see their brand. I see whatever it is that they do. So I think I look at it as another marketing strategy to show up. A lot of people want to do business and they don't want to show up. They want to make money. I want to be a millionaire, but if you're not showing up, and you're not applying strategies to what it is that you're trying to do, then you're just talking to the wind.
Yeah. So doing things is not going to rarely makes people a millionaire. Normally you have to become the thing that you want to manifest. Right. So this means you're not going to become a millionaire when you watch a whole lot of things on TV that millionaires don't do.
Right, Clinton. That's
if you don't have lifestyle habits that millionaires have, if you think within a 40-hour work week, you got to have the weekends off. You don't work past 5. You want to balance your way to the top. What I'm actually got in one of my videos on the Black Men's Health. I answered a question from one of my subscribers. Is, hey, they asked me, hey, I'm not able to make these amazing changes in my life while maintaining the balance of things that I got going on. I said, well, that's the problem. When you want to do amazing things, you're going to have to require sacrifice, not balance. Now, just like an airplane, when the airplane is going up, everybody has to sit in the seat. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't do anything.
That's good.
Trays folded up, cell phones off until it reaches flight altitude. Then you can start to get balance. People are wanting flight altitude results without climbing.
That's good.
People are wanting to make money on social media and do all these things and go viral without doing the things that it takes. Some of these people that go viral, their 800th video went viral. You know what I mean? In a year
versus thousands. Yeah.
But now the 799 was probably just like this, and then they hit 800, boom. And then they go. That's what happens. You got to follow these. People don't want to follow the processes that it takes to get the results that they look for, that they're looking for. They want to. How do I go viral? What's the fastest thing that I need to follow on social media so that I can make a lot of money? Well, the fastest thing is to try to get on every platform that your client is at. Make sure that you take time, invest in good quality content. If you can, level up, get you a good phone, get you a good camera. You're going to have to cut time out to be consistent. You might even have to pay money. You're going to have to buy you a coach. Now, when you start telling people all this, oh, no, I ain't trying to do all that. I just want to.
I want the easy way out. Just make me rich.
Tap out.
Make me rich.
Tap out.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to. A lot of people are wanting results that they're not willing to work for. And for me, all this stuff applies to any success you want in life. Relationships, making money, body fitness goals. You can want and you can desire and you can hope all you want. But if you don't follow the processes that aligns to the outcome that you're looking for, if you get them, it will be a miracle. And miracles are real. You just never know when they're going to happen.
You can't predict them.
You can't predict them. So that's what people want to do, like reels, all these things. Like even what Mr. Christian was saying is that he's not strategy-less. Sometimes you got to try a bunch of different things to come back to saying, hey, you know what, let me try this, let me do this. But he's willing to invest his money into his growth while mixing it with organicness. That's following the success process that a lot of people aren't willing to do. And you want high levels of success, you're not going to invest $50. So, but that's just that's stuff people don't want to hear.
Guys, it's the truth, whether they want to hear it or not, and most people don't want to hear the truth. But Nadira, you was on to something, and I think with the four of us here, we have a wealth of knowledge, and I think we're kind of all the way down the block. And what I'm thinking is, I think we need to have a real dealing with the coaches call about branding. Because we throw it around so easily because we have experience and we understand it. We took it all the way back to Coca-Cola. We can take it back to Xerox, Kleenex. But when we bring it to the forefront today with the new generation that's coming up, they don't have a clue what it really represents.
Right.
And I think we need to slow down for a moment and really dig deep to really help individuals who don't really understand what the real branding means and help them realize that they are the brand.
They are the brand.
They need to have a marketing conversation.
Right.
Because it's very difficult to get branding right without understanding the market. Not understanding what message, because your branding is like your message. It's how your clients feel and interact with your business, your product or service. You can't find them in an effective manner without understanding marketing. So a lot of times we're told branding, and we think branding and marketing and sales and advertisement is the same thing, but it's not. I always tell marketing is the root, content is the branches and stuff like that, and sales is the fruit. Once you get your marketing strategy down correctly, then you can create a branding strategy. But you have to know who you're talking to, what product you need to pair with them, where they're at, what problems they need to have solved, so that you can present yourself as the brand that they're willing to buy from.
Well,
So
there's
if
a
you
there's
can,
a difference from adjusting. Now, this is the part where I would have to add to a little bit of a twist to that, because I believe that branding means you being able to identify who you are and represent who you are and what you're able to represent to whoever, to your potential client. I think once you know
so
that,
in marketing, they call that your unique selling proposition,
okay,
Yeah,
your
but
USP.
this
That's
is
a
difference
marketing.
though. But this is difference though. We're gonna separate that because marketing is a fundamental foundation of everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
You if you don't have marketing, you can't do anything.
right,
You can't.
not effectively at a high level
No,
with the least path of resistance.
exactly. So we get that. So that's the fundamental. All we're saying is
But a lot of people don't get that.
no, but we'll have a separate call for that, right? Because on top of that, like if you we can explain that, right? But we don't have to go into the details of the marketing aspect because marketing has a lot of different technicals, right? It just has a lot of different areas that you can go into. So if you just understand that marketing is the fundamental foundation, that's cool. It's just helping people identify and understand what brand really means, and you just keep it right there because Christian just said himself he has all these things going on and he's just really learning and getting into the branding. The marketing piece for Christian will continue, right? Because he understands the fundamental, of the beginning of that, but nobody's talking about the branding aspect of it. So, but anyway, that's for a later day. I'm
Yeah.
good.
and it's good, and I like that. I love that we all have different, unique perspectives
Yeah.
to be able to. That's what makes this awesome, because you might be bringing a perspective maybe somebody else thought about, and
Mhm.
he might be Christian might bring a perspective because he's a millennial, so he
Millennial.
has a different perspective, so I love the fact that we all have different things that we can bring as far as perspective. And I definitely will have to say that all of it is important, and all of it
Beautiful.
is crucial, and all of it makes up what we need to be able to
Yeah.
operate a business. And I think, and I just have to just reiterate that, is that the most important thing we have to understand is we have to do the work. Whether it's strategy, branding, you have to do the work. There's no way around that. Once you've done, I like what you said, Clinton, when you said the long way, I think you said it on a previous show, in the long
Yeah.
way, learn all the
Yeah.
tips and tricks in the quick
No,
version.
that on the short path.
Long and
Yeah.
short path. I wrote that
Yeah,
down.
the short path is the one.
Two paths to success.
Oh well, no. What I say is there's a long path and a short path. Ironically enough, the long path is the one with all the tricks, tips, hacks, and shortcuts in it. The short path is the one with the process. But you're right, all these things matter. But what we get is, and I'm gonna speak to us as Black people, we get a lot of pieces to the puzzle. We get a lot of the right pieces. We just get them in the wrong order. And this is why I kind of don't relent when it comes down to where we put marketing, branding, promotion, advertisement, and then sales. Can you get results with these things out of order? Yes, you can. People get results. But when they are in order and alignment and with clarity, that path of resistance is a whole lot easier to travel. So
Okay, great. Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to wrap up. Everybody's going to talk about who they are and what they do, and then we will wrap up. If you have any questions, we do have some people responding. Charmaine said, this is good information and very beneficial. Thank you. Thank you, Charmaine, for watching. And then we also have someone says, hey, family, great to see you both. Great tips so far. Coke is a stable brand. Good point. Come from foundation and flex. And I'm not sure exactly who that is, because you have to be able to give StreamYard permission so that we can see the name. But thank you so much for that comment. We appreciate everybody that has participated. And if you are watching us on the replay, make sure you click #replay. And if you have something to add, make sure you add it to the comments. We'd love to be able to incorporate your comment and your suggestions in. So we'll be right back. We're going to take a break and we'll see you after this. Dira, author, life, and business coach, founder of the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs, Wisdom, and Entrepreneur Academy. Thanks so much for stopping by our site. Make sure you check out our on-demand courses. And if you have any questions or you would like to book a call with me, make sure you click the link below and we'll go ahead and get you started on the way to becoming the best version of who you were ordained to be.
Yes, come on, shorty, let's go. Girl, I see you over there in the corner of the dance floor, and I know you're acting shy, looking at the corner of your eyes. So I pick my heart up off the floor, move my feet closer to yours, catch my breath, and I say, I'm the one you're looking for.
IBG Careers is looking for customer service representatives needed to service their customers from home. If you're interested, please apply at www.ibgcareers.com.
Let's work. I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I. Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah.
All right, and we are back here with Dinner with the Coaches, bringing the thunder. As always.
Boy. That's awesome, man.
Let's work. All right.
Give my girl Adira a hand for all those wonderful commercials, boy.
Awesome. Woo! And if you need a commercial for your business, make sure you reach out to me. Send me an inbox at the @handle Woman of Prov, or you can send me an inbox on Facebook, Instagram. I'm across all the social media platforms at Woman of Prov. So if you need your video done for your business, boom, 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 I will bring the thunder. So we are at the end of our broadcast, and we have had an amazing time, as always, with our guests. And we're going to go ahead and wrap up with what we do. But before we do that, we have another comment. Bobby Jackson says, good stuff. Keep it up, guys. Thanks, Bobby. Thank you so much for watching us. So we're going to start with Clinton. You want to talk to us about what you do and how you can be of service to those that are watching. Can't hear you.
My name is Clint McCoy, and I have a marketing and media agency called Diverse Styles Marketing Group, and we help Black passion and purpose-driven entrepreneurs amplify their brand and attract new and high-end-paying customers using up-to-date marketing strategies, professional photography, and eye-catching videography. One of the main problems that we solve is that we help our clients get the one thing that they need to keep their business growing, and that's an audience. So, and that's what we do through understanding social media, content marketing, building online courses, building different digital products so that they can make money off of the information that they have and not the work that they do with their hands. So that's what we do.
Christian?
My name is Christian Bryant. I'm a day trader. I pretty much help you guys learn how to actually trade. So if you're looking to learn how to invest your money into different markets and make a consistent income, you guys can visit my website at dailytradeswithchris.com. There's a lot of information that you can learn. There is a course that you guys can learn as well, and you also are able to do one-on-one sessions. So
Christian's so smooth with his thing.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. You know what I mean? Why he rocking back and forth? You know what I mean? Why he rocking back and forth? Like, roll with it. You know, he rocking back and forth. That's what I do, y'all. He's so smooth. Well, hey, my name is Thomas Taylor III. I'm a visionary coach. I help business leaders align their dreams with their destiny so they can build a lasting legacy. So if that's you, you can reach out to me via Instagram at Thomas Taylor III, or you can send me an email if you have a thought or a question at tyd@tailoryourdreams.com.
Awesome. I feel like when I listen to y'all, I'd be like, dang, this stuff is so simple and plain. And I'm the one with the complex. The woman with me.
It took 1,000 revisions. Don't get it twisted.
Hey, you're the queen, man. So take all the time you want.
Well, I'm Nadira Lewis. I am an author, life and business coach, and I am the founder of the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs Wisdom Academy and Entrepreneur Academy. And I help women take their experiences and turn them into life lessons by helping them build courses and books to be able to help their generation and people that have experienced some of the similar things that they've gone through and help them go through some of those transitions. And because I believe that just like hurt people, transform people can transform people too. So there are some things and experiences that we have gone in our life that are not, that you don't have to allow them to go to waste. I can show you how to take those lessons that you've learned, if you learned them, and show you how to take them and turn them into life lessons for other people, which is what I've done with my own business. I've taken a lot of my experiences and my journey of things that I've overcome and turned them into master classes and on-demand courses to help other women go through what they've gone through. And I've made it available to those that are going through and need help now and have overcome and need help structuring their business. So you can reach out to me at www.womanofproverbscoaching.com. You can book a call with me. I also provide business services for the average business, whether it's video, media, logo, or branding content. I'm your girl. I can hook you up. So that's pretty much what I do. So Thomas, you want to take us out before we?
Yeah, well, again, I want to thank Christian for taking the time out to give us a little bit nice, great information on Reels, right, and how to monetize that, as well as our guest, Mr. Clinton. Don't call him a strategist, but he loves strategy and marketing, boy. If you need that, he's the man you're gonna call. I really appreciate your time, man. I love your energy. I love your enthusiasm. Yes. I mean, you bring it. You know what I mean? Yes. You have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience, man. So I really appreciate you taking the time out. And my host, Mr. Dira, it's always nothing but love. Like, we couldn't do it without you, young lady.
I'm telling you, you're the greatest co-host. I'm telling you, you are the live box. Thomas comes in, he visionary coach is such an understatement. This guy is powerful. This guy knows how to sit there with a smile and just like literally, like sometimes we'd be having our conversation and I'd be like, you just reading all into my head. Like he just has the ability to really bring out. And I think this is something that I think that maybe he knows and just hasn't really realized. But if you guys need coaching on how to strategize your life, I mean, Coach Thomas is the guy. I mean, Coach Thomas, you can sit with him and you almost have to he almost have to kick you off the phone because of his strategies of being and his patience. I think that's important because you have a lot of people with skill set, but you have the patience to really help people get through. Where I might be a little bit different. I might, I'm time driven. I'm more like, you and Christian. I think me and Clinton are more like, and you and Christian are more. Christian's more like.
It's funny because I was gonna hit. Hey man, I think I can help that young man.
Like we got 30 minutes. We got stuff to do, people to see, places to go. Come on now, we got to get it. We got to get it going.
Beautiful thing.
So, but thank you guys for watching. Make sure you join us on Mondays. Mondays is something I'm telling you, I'm getting good with this. I'm starting to add more days to this showing up. I'm where I talk about business strategies one-on-one and so many things, all things concerning crypto, because I'm telling you, there's so much stuff in this crypto world. It's amazing that that we have been really taking a lot of time to educate. So make sure you join me on tomorrow at 8 p.m. here on the broadcast out here in these internet streets, how I would say it, out here in these internet streets. So thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you on tomorrow.